I'm Jessica, and this is Daebak K-Rambles, where a couple of friends review Korean dramas, and we're back to review another 2026 K-drama. We're going to talk about My Royal Nemesis, and for this episode, I'm joined by Moe from Off by Purple Heart podcast. How are you, Moe?
Oh, I am really good. Can I just say I'm an admirer of yours? I've been watching you okay, this is going to sound lurkerish. It's not really lurky, but I've been admiring you for a while. I actually found you on TikTok first.
Oh my goodness,
and I just
I'm so
love
sorry.
how just Oh, God. But yes, I've really enjoyed, you are just real. I love it.
Thank you so
enjoy
much.
what you enjoy. And you keep it real, and you're very funny. So I am beyond honored that I get to be on your platform, that you're going to platform my crazy. I love it.
This is so flattering. You're feeding my ego, and that does wonders
Yes.
to get more episodes actually out of me, is to just tell me how much you love the content.
Yes! Success.
But Moe, I'm a fan of yours, and I actually heard you for the first time on a podcast, was actually on Liliana's Tea and Soju podcast, and I was like, I have to get her on Daebak.
Love her
because
down.
oh my god, I love
her
Liliana.
down.
She's the best. She's the best.
She is the best.
Yes.
Very knowledgeable as well, and her passion, everything. She is immaculate.
Yes.
So I follow her as well. I do a lot of lurky stuff, but yeah, you guys are killing it.
Bless you.
Y'all doing a damn thing.
So are you, and I am honestly really excited to talk about this drama today. I heard kind of rumblings about how the last few episodes weren't up to par. People were very upset. There was a little bit of grumbling in the community, whereas the first half of the show was stellar. People were so excited about this show. And
Yep.
I put that in the back of my pocket and didn't think much about it until I scheduled this show. And I was like, yes, I can't wait to see what the hell went wrong or right in this show. So, Moe, what are you currently watching for those listening and are wondering, maybe I can add something to my watch list based on what Moe's watching?
Well, Jess, I have been in a little bit of a purgatory. I'm not going to hold you. I have been in the heated rivalry fandom.
Yeah.
It has not let me go since last year.
Ooh.
We are smooth into July 2026. We almost end in summer up in here.
Yeah.
And I am still at the cottage.
Woo.
Can I explain this to your listeners? No, I cannot explain it to them. But this show has taken hold of me so bad that it has cursed me.
Ooh.
That I am unable to focus on much else. I have given it my shot. Trust, I have been giving it my shot. But heated rivalry, I've probably watched it for 1,000th time. I can't tell you why. It's just one of those shows where you just feel good.
Yeah.
And you just have to get it sunk into your actual DNA.
I see.
And that's pretty much...
So heated rivalry is the first, second, and third thing that you have been watching.
100%. I have been dabbling. I've been dabbling here and there
Yeah.
in some K-dramas, C-dramas. Clearly, obviously, this show.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of went into Perfect Crown. Definitely have some thoughts about that.
We don't need to go into,
No. Yeah.
I don't want to incite the masses again.
No. Shh, let me just...
But Perfect Crown was something that you dabbled in.
I dabbled in. I experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a show.
It was a show.
It happened.
Yeah. They're so pretty, but they're so pretty.
They're so... The gowns.
Yeah, the gowns.
Beautiful gowns.
Yeah, beautiful.
Great gowns. Beautiful.
That's my favorite thing to fall back on is when just nothing worked. You're like, but they're so pretty. They're so gorgeous.
I'm sorry, I'm tearing up already. They're so... okay. Let me not derail. But it was you're beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. Yeah.
Thank you, Moe, for
Funny.
sharing what you're watching and what you've kind of gone in and out of K-drama land for this year. But we're going to narrow down the focus and zero in here on My Royal Nemesis. And this was something that I understand you enjoyed for the most part. I remember seeing your content on this, and it was...
Yes.
You were excited. And that's
Yes.
all I'll say to speak for you.
Yes.
But before we deep dive on this My Royal Nemesis review, if this is your first time listening, go ahead and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. If you like us, please give us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. That goes such a long way for other listeners to find us. And then come check us out on social media to stay up to date on the latest episodes and reviews. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Daebak Pod, DAEBAKPOD. And lastly, if you're a fan, please consider becoming a patron. It is such a great way for you to get involved and show your support. You can check out the page on patreon.com/daebakpod. And shout out to my patrons, Curtis, Alana, Sammy, Julia number 1, Caitlin, Tenmei, Marta, Delphia, Maria, Sarah, Pam, Julian number 2, Nadira, Matthew, Laura, Christine, Kate B, KG, K-Drama Watcher 2, and Katie. Thank you so much for supporting the show. All right. Without further ado, Mo, we're going to get into the general non-spoiler section of My Royal Nemesis. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay.
Let's do this.
So the MDL synopsis reads, a romantic comedy centered on a love-hate relationship between Shin So-ri, a legendary villainess from Chosun, and Cha Se-ge, a ruthless modern-day chaebol. Shin So-ri, a nameless actress who becomes possessed by the spirit of a notorious Joseon-era femme fatale, gains a vicious personality. Once a royal concubine of the highest rank who is called a national seductress and sentenced to death by poison, her soul is then transported to the 21st century where she begins a new life. So yes, this is a time slip rom-com. Like we said, My Royal Nemesis is the English title. The literal title, which I found was interesting, Wonderful New World is the literal title for this. Mm-hmm. It aired from May to June 2026. It is 14 episodes long, and it's directed by Han Tae-so. This is a male director who's only directed a few things, including Cheer Up from 2022, which is, I think, a cheerleading show. Did you watch this? Yeah.
I did. That was also another show that most certainly did happen.
Okay.
Now, it does an amazing bait switch. I'll tell you that. By the time the bait switch happened, I was like, oh, no. Oh, no. That was definitely a show. Now, if you want to be rage baited, if you enjoy having your blood pressure spiked a little bit, if you feel like you want to, do a little 1-2, like punchy to the wall here and there, like it might be something of consequence,
Right.
Maybe a drinking game, perhaps.
Oh, Lord. See, I heard that it was charming is, I think, the general...
It definitely has its charm.
Okay.
For sure.
You know what? Let's move on. So then, My Royal Nemesis was written by Kang Hyun-ju. This is a female screenwriter who really has not written a K-drama before. This is her very first K-drama. She wrote 2 movies prior to this. She wrote Soulmate from 2023 and Lost in Starlight from 2025. I've seen Lost in Starlight. I love Lost in Starlight. Have you seen any of her previous movies?
I'll be honest, I have not, but the title does actually sound really interesting. The show.
Yeah, Lost in Starlight is an animated movie out of Korea, and it's excellent. I thought for sure it would get nominated during the Oscar season last cycle, but that was also the year of K-pop Demon Hunters, so then that got a lot of love in the animation category. That'll do it. Let's wrap it up. Anyways, My Royal Nemesis stars Ji-yeon. She plays Kang Dang-chim, and Shin So-ri. She's our female lead. She's been in about 6 movies. I don't know if you've seen her films, any of them, but the one that I've seen and the 2 that I know, right? So I've seen one of the 2 that I'm familiar with. The Treacherous from 2015 I watched, and Obsessed from 2014. I'm also trying to watch it. Like, at some point I have to watch it.
Yes.
They're both erotic movies.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've seen a lot of her, actually.
Okay. Figuratively and literally.
Yes. The TV work is, I think, where most K-drama fans know her from. She made her big breakout.
She did a big one.
2022/2023 with The Glory. She was the villain in The Glory, was such a juicy character, and loved her. There's a big deep dive on The Glory on the feed if you want to listen to it. But she's also been in K-dramas like Money Heist Korea, The Royal Gambler, High Society. Most recently, she's been in The Lies Hidden in My Garden, The Killing Vote, and The Tale of Lady Oak. I heard The Tale of Lady Oak is really good. I do want to watch that at some point. And later this year, she's going to be in Nice to Not Meet You. So there's that. What's your experience with Ji-yeon?
I honestly am only familiar with her with The Glory, but that was one hell of an introduction to her. I think she's probably one of my favorite actresses as far as playing an antagonistic character. There's something very interesting about her face. She has beautiful eye acting, which sounds kind of weird-ish, but there's just that intensity. She gives a good crazy eye, and I don't mean that derogatory. I just mean that, like, she brings the intensity to 10. I went through it with The Glory. Like, I was seated. I loved it. And I think in the future, if she could ever do something akin to that again, maybe like a spy thriller-ish, something maybe just like deep, criminal activity world where she is like, the head boss. And we also can get into that kind of deal. Like, I feel like she would play a good leader that would like crack knuckles and like, I know she's got a smaller frame, but I feel like her presence is very grand. And I feel like she can really sell you just being despicable. That's the best word. Like, she does despicable really well. I'll even credit the actress that played the younger version of her character in The Glory as well. Just bone chilling. But the both of them, they just smash intensity. And it's very rare that I can say that I actively enjoy a villain who is causing so much stress to the main lead.
Yeah.
But I truly enjoyed her performance. I feel like it elevated the show. Not to say that there was anyone that was really slouching in The Glory. I feel like that was overall a really well-cast show. And even if people had problems here and there, I just think it was really great. And she was phenomenal in it. And I should take more time to familiarize myself with more of her work, because she's good at what she does.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't know that she was around for longer than The Glory, if that makes any sense, because she made such an impression during the Glory era 3 years ago. But she's been acting for like 10, 11 years.
Dang.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Damn.
And she's kind of on a career apex. At least 3 years ago she was, when The Glory came out. Everyone knew her name, finally, if they didn't before.
Yes.
Her co-star in My Royal Nemesis is Nam-jun. He plays Cha Se-ge. He's the male lead. He's been in about 14 TV shows, including Snowdrop from 2021, 2022. That's a show, if you get my meaning. There is a big deep dive on Snowdrop. He's been in The Matchmakers, Sweet Home 2, Sweet Home 3, The Impossible Heir from 2 years ago, Your Honor, When the Phone Rings. There's also a big deep dive on When the Phone Rings on the podcast.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, God. What a time. Then he's also been in When the Stars Gossip, 100 Memories, The Dream Life of Mr. Kim, and in 2027, he will be in Whale Star. How do you find this guy? What do you think about Nam-jun?
I will say this. My introduction to him was When the Phone Rings. When the Phone Rings was a time as well.
No question. No question.
No, that was a time. But he is also someone that has an interesting face, also has interesting eye acting as well, and also can bring a certain intensity. Like, he brings the energy of sus. Does that make sense? You're like, no, there's something going on with you.
There's something tricksy about him.
The tricksy about you. But I love the energy that he brings. And similarly to what we're just talking about, I would also love him to do another really villainous role. Actually, the two of them together could come back to another show, play similar types, like where they're the most villainous, and then just take over the entire world. I just have this like in my head. Like, I'm low-key a TikTok editor without any skill set whatsoever. But I just come up with all these three scenarios with my head.
Yeah.
But I do like his intensity. I think he's someone that I would like to see utilized a bit more. And he's also beautiful to look at, which apparently is controversial to some folks in these K-drama streets, which I was shook at when...
Wait.
I was...
People think he's ugly? Is that what's happening?
Literally, I saw like verbatim tweets, and I was like, I know my prescription hasn't been like updated in a smooth minute, but I know y'all not talking about him. I was like, with the 8-pack abs and the glass cutting cheekbones, the high cheekbones, like the plush lips. Like, are y'all good?
I'm going to read a line verbatim from my notes, and it says this: "Saints alive, is this the hottest man I've ever seen?"
You see how you keep it real? This is why I love you. Just like you get it. Like you can
criticism
imagine my
is
horror.
completely lost on me. I
completely lost.
Thought he was
like, y'all have lost
fine
it.
as fuck.
No, like let's put the emphasis. Like put the F in, like I said, y'all not serious people.
Y'all can't be trusted out here.
You can't be trusted at all. I said, I don't want to hear another damn word.
Ugh.
Disconnect the Wi-Fi. Unplug.
Mm-mm.
You never need to watch another K-drama again. Just shut up.
It's the fact that, there's plenty of people that I don't find attractive. I don't necessarily go on the internet and say so-and-so is ugly, right?
No, I can't
there's
do that.
a certain subsect of people that are here, like, voicing their displeasure these up-and-coming stars. That also makes very little sense to me.
Very little. The bravery. The stupidity.
Right. That's not like a criticism that he can fix necessarily. Like, as much as we like to say, like, Korea's the number one country for plastic surgery, he's already out. He's already made shows. That's his face.
Yeah, that's his face. And the face is top tier. I've seen some faces. I've seen some faces. Of course, I'm going to keep it cute because, again, like, my face is out there. I'm in no position to be, like, doing any of that kind of, but I was really taken aback.
I was shocked that you told me that.
The girls are out here really doing this? The girls and the guys?
Oh my God.
Really? The betrayal.
It is a betrayal. It feels like, okay, then you don't deserve to watch anything that he's ever going to be in or ever been in.
I honestly say this because I feel like with this show, he will absolutely blow up for sure, if not more so than he already has. But I'm going to remember this.
I'm going to remember that. That's how I feel.
It's like I'm taking some screenshots and I'm going to come back.
Yeah.
Don't walk it back though.
No.
Don't walk it back. I'm petty.
No.
Because I will come back with receipts. I'll be like, you see this?
It's not even like get to the back of the line later on when you finally get it. It's like, no, you're not allowed in the line.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
You can't get in. We're going to stomp you out. No.
Okay.
The club's closed.
I'm glad that we had this conversation, and that's pretty much it for the main cast. We do have supporting cast members that we can likely talk about a little later as they come up in the conversation. But look, tell me your non-spoiler thoughts about My Royal Nemesis.
My Royal Nemesis. I will say this. I enjoyed myself for the most part. I give the show a lot of credit in the sense that it's one of the very few that I've actually finished. And it's not even just because I was incentivized to review it. It's just genuinely one of the few K-dramas that actually were able to hold my attention. And best believe, on God, everything. It has been wickedly difficult. Not even just the heated rivalry of it all. Just in general, I don't know what it is. I know we do this every year. Oh my God. 2026, the K-dramas are flops. 2025, oh my God. I don't know what it is. I'm just, the energy in general for me is not resonating in the way it needs to resonate. You know what I'm saying? But I did enjoy the show. I think both actors did what they needed to do. I enjoyed it. There's a lot of humorous moments. There were some moments I actually laughed out loud. And for me, it's hard, even if I enjoy the show and it has a sense of humor, to get me to actually physically laugh out loud is very few and far between. And there were some moments that I genuinely thought were funny, even if they were cringy, even if they're a little cheesy or corny. I just kind of bought into it and I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed not just the main romance of it, but I enjoyed some of the side characters and their relationships also with the leads. I think, not to get into spoilers or anything like that, I feel like with Sori and one of her neighbors who ends up, being someone that actually helps her along in this journey, I think was really good. They had really great banter and it was enjoyable. And even with Sige and his assistant, for example, and his dry wits, as like you kind of just see him in the background, he's just kind of looking at him like, you dummy.
Yeah.
You big dummy. And you just kind of see him like just kind of shake his head like, so there was a lot of great relationships in that sense. I really enjoyed the earlier flashbacks within the show. I think the character, even though Suri, and I know she goes by a different name in the show as well,
Yeah,
I
she has
feel
two.
like
It's
she,
Danchim and Sori. So Sori is like her present day name.
yes, her present day name. I feel like even though she was presented as this concubine, she had this very authoritative, grandiose type energy. Very much, I am proud of who I am. You are not going to keep me down. There's just something that the actress was really able to sell me in that. And I enjoyed her energy. I enjoyed her fierceness.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes she was downright vicious, which I really enjoyed as well.
Yeah.
uh, I feel like this actress as well, she's like not afraid to make her face look not ugly because she's obviously very beautiful, but she just kind of contorts her face in a way as well that
Yeah, she's not afraid to look ridiculous.
she's not afraid to look ridiculous. She's
Yeah.
able to get into the physical comedy aspects of what the role is asking for. And I really enjoyed that. I there's a lot of physical comedy in the show that I really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of
There's a lot to love.
little bits here and there. There's a lot to love. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it wasn't perfect, but yeah.
Yeah, that part. So I'll go ahead and say I came off of really disliking Can This Love Be Translated. That was the first 2026 K-drama that I actually pressed play on, and there's a deep dive review. It's the last episode on the Daebak feed. And I am looking at my finished 2026 list, which is all of the K-dramas that aired in the current year that I want to circle back on and watch. Usually I will watch all of them, binge them in Q4 because that's when the holidays are, when people get a lot of time off. I do too. And so it's really easy to just sit there and like blast through all of these dramas that I've saved up, that I've hoarded, that I'm like, oh, I'm interested in actually seeing this and pressing play. This is one of those shows that was on the list already. Mm-hmm. Coming off of the first show, the 2026 K-drama, I really didn't have high expectations, but I wanted to go into it with an open heart and open mind. I didn't look up anything about the show. All I remember was just the buzz, right? You know, some good, some bad, but mostly I remember people being very excited about the show as it was ongoing. There was a lot of fervor, fan fervor around the show. And I thought, okay, there has to be something to this, even if maybe it jumps the shark at some point. But I went into it with an open heart, open mind, as I said. And I really bought in. I fell in love with this show. It kind of saved the outlook that I had on 2026 K-dramas. I was like, okay, well, maybe it's not all bad because, My Royal Nemesis kind of worked despite how silly and hokey and cringe and tropey it is. Absolutely. It's all those things. But I thought the humor was very self-aware. I admired that. It was invoking a lot of other K-dramas that have come before it. And so in that way, it felt like it was paying homage and not just copying for the sake of copying. It was calling attention to what it was copying, right? And I thought that was a smart move because despite how insular Korea is, I think the Koreans and fans at large have knowledge and have seen a lot of K-drama. And so you can't just go in and copy something without maybe wink, wink. This is the inspiration. You've seen this before here. So I thought that self-aware humor worked. There's really strong chemistry between these two leads, which I quite enjoyed. I honestly didn't expect it at all for them to be so locked in from jump. I thought the execution was very confident, despite, having looked up this writer and director. And they really haven't done much, right? They don't have this deep repertoire of K-dramas that you can go back to and be like, wow, they know what they're doing. They've got all this experience, they're kind of fresh-faced when it comes to K-dramas. And I thought that only helped the drama probably, because they had something different, I think, to say. The flavor was a little different, even if the tropes, the beats, the plot. The actors themselves, this is a choice, I think, to put these two who may have had some more morally gray or red flag roles leading up to this, is to put these kind of feral people together who people perceive as being maybe a little more vicious and fierce, as you said. And honestly, I thought it worked. I thought it worked tremendously.
I thought it worked too.
Bring back yearning. I've said this on and off for years, but really, the magic sauce, I thought, had a lot to do with Nam-jun's performance and how he is so whipped down bad for the female lead, Sori. And it was one of those he fell first and he fell harder scenarios.
As it always should be. I don't want it to be the other way. I don't want the woman to fall first and fall harder. We're not doing this up in here.
That's what I think. When I see it like this, I'm like, yeah, that's how it should always be. If it's not like this, I don't want it.
I don't want it.
Yeah, I don't want it. But I thought In-hyun as well was doing a phenomenal job in this role because it's kind of demanding. To make people laugh and to make people cry in the same show is very difficult, and she is giving it her best. She's switching between this Joseon-era formal speech and dialect. It kind of morphs into more modern, Seoul dialect towards the end of the show, but she still keeps up this really grandiose way of speaking, and it works in these modern comedic fish out of water situations where she's constantly looks like she's straight out of a sageuk, and she is like, basically she is.
I love that too. I love her. I thought that she was really consistent in keeping that air of from the Joseon-era, and as she's acclimating, you can slowly see the subtleties and changes, but it's not like bam in your face. Even down to like the wardrobe, I thought it wasn't like too heavy-handed is the word I'm looking for. I feel like they kind of slowly incorporated as time progressed, and you can see that visually with the clothing, the demeanor that she carries herself, like the vulnerabilities that's able to strip back, but still keep the true essence of that Joseon woman that we are introduced to and asked to fall in love with as an audience. But yes.
Yeah, they also did this reinterpretation of this historical figure that Koreans may or may not know. I'm not going to speak for the entire Korean populace and be like, you should know, like, this is your George Washington. I can't say that for sure. But they took this character and they kind of gave it like the Maleficent treatment where it's like, well, she wasn't really evil. She was, misunderstood, and she was facing all of these headwinds, and the king was an asshole. Like all of these things, which I quite enjoy when they do that. And when anybody does that, when they're like, this is based on a true story, fictionalized account of so-and-so. That's kind of cool. And they livened it up, gave it a modern twist. She's very independent, and she ends up rejecting these social roles. So I read a little part of this review from Lee Sung-rok. This reviewer for Sports Seoul was talking a lot about Ho Nam-jun's performance and describing him as the drama's discovery. The review highlighted his strong screen presence, deep voice, precise diction, and nuanced facial expressions, comparing his charisma to a young Lee Byung-eun, which I was like, oh, wow, I agree with that totally. So I really enjoyed both of their performances, and Ho Nam-jun especially.
Yes. I think they just had the right sparks, the right chemistry. They just gelled together.
Yeah. I want to say that the experience of watching this reminded me a lot of the experience of watching Business Proposal. And I don't know if you had another kind of light K-drama rom-com that was your last favorite that you can equate the experience of watching My Royal Nemesis to, but that felt very similar to me. That it's not a perfect show.
Yeah.
It's very tropey.
Yes.
But like there's something about it that kind of stuck.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really apt to compare it to something of the similar beat and energy of The Business Proposal. I happen to enjoy that one as well. That's kind of a comfort watch. Yeah. And I don't know if this is considered like a rare opinion, but I actually liked both couples. I liked the leading couple and I liked the second couple as well. I know a lot of people, when talking about The Business Proposal, they tend to focus on the real steaminess of the second couple, and best believe like the whole makeout with the glasses and
when he took off his glasses.
Oh, that was so serious.
The heavens parted or something. Like it was
the deities just like shut down.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. But I actually enjoyed all of it because it does give me that same feel. I think there's shows that are technically very well written, very well directed. It's like prestige. And then there's shows that just ultimately make you feel good and you just are comforted by it and you can watch it again and again. And I kind of liken both of these shows to the same thing. Maybe technically not everything, but they still resonate really well. They're still enjoyable. There's still something for everyone to take away. So overall, you just have a good time.
Yeah.
Definitely, I could feel that.
I watched earlier this year Queen In-hyun's Man. It was a rewatch for me and did a deep dive review on the podcast, and that's another time slip romance. And I think they actually invoke it in the show. The shaman mentions Queen In-hyun's man, and I'm like, oh my god, because it was such a great show. Even now, in rewatching it, I love that show. I kind of feel like time slip romances in K-drama land are hit or miss for me personally. Yeah. There's been a few that have come out in the last few years, like Bon Appetit, Your Majesty, Destined with You, See You in My 19th Life, even Mr. Queen from 2020. But I think I tend to like the older ones because the ones that I like are not the most recent ones. Like Rooftop Prince, Queen In-hyun's Man, Splash Splash Love are my bag, right? Like that's kind of the flavor and the type of plot that I like. I don't know if you had any thoughts about time slip romances.
First of all, like really top tier taste. Like you know your stuff. But I feel like anything dealing with time and just the magical realism and that type of stuff, it can get really tricky. It can get a little confusing. And sometimes I don't know if the writers kind of get ahead of themselves a little bit. They put a little bit too much dip on the chip. I don't know. But I kind of go with it. There's a lot of suspension of disbelief. And of course, when you're dealing with shows that have fantasy elements, you have the audience, you have to kind of disengage a little bit. Sometimes it's good to just tell your brain, just be quiet, just stop with the nitpicky and just kind of go along with the ride. But sometimes it can get really glaring to the point where you're like, oh, okay, you guys are really, really trying a lot here. This is ambitious.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's a lot of choices that were most certainly made, but okay. Okay. But you mentioned one that I really liked, Mr. Queen. That's definitely up there for me. But yeah, top tier taste, man. I'm telling you, I enjoy it.
I mean, I was wondering how this maybe fits in with the other time slip romances or time travel romances that you've seen in K-drama land. Would you say this is top 5 for you? Would you say this falls just outside your top 5?
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of asking you this on the fly, so it's okay if you don't have 5 shows top of mind, but
I think all of yours that you just mentioned, I would probably put in like the top 10 list. I feel like this show kind of surfaces a little outside of it. Like I hate to admit this, but I was a teensy bit confused on a little bit of some of the elements that they use as far as that tool. Like I don't know if it kind of lost me towards the end. Like I feel from the first half to the second half, I was like, I'm not too sure how that lines up. And there was a couple of twists that later reveals, and I was like, okay, sure. And I just kind of went along with it anyways. But I will admit, I will humble myself and say I was a little confused. Maybe I'm not big-brained enough for it.
I was confused. You know, if I didn't say it before, I'll say it again. This is not a perfect show. And absolutely, I meant to say this earlier, but the ending had me feeling like Goblin a little bit, where it's like, I guess, you know, it's a wash.
Sure.
I'm not gonna
it's like,
think too hard on it. They wanted that to be the avenue. They wanted this to happen. Okay, fine.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Well, we can get into it in the spoiler section. What exactly was confusing about it, what happened, what went down, what our interpretation is. That's totally fine. But I agree, the ending is probably the weakest part of the show.
Oh, yeah. No disagreement there. Yeah.
I saw a comment on, or two, from my drama list, because you know you can leave reviews in my drama list, and sometimes I'll come across one that's very interesting, and then sometimes I just don't care to engage with those reviews.
You guys are really doing a lot in there. Like, come on, guys, like ease up a bit.
So this comment, the first one that came out, I'll read it. The title of this review is From Perfection to Nonsense.
Ooh, oof.
And they said, this is a short review. They said, everything after episode 10 is nonsense, especially the final episode. What was the point of all this chaos? It should have been a simple reincarnation story and the comedy wouldn't have been ruined. What nonsense? I'm skipping a little bit because I don't want to spoil it too much, but they were too busy dealing with nonsense to have time for the Taemendo incident. They just solved it stupidly, very quickly. I didn't give it low ratings because of the previous episodes I enjoyed in the cast. There isn't a single person I dislike. If the cast hadn't been so great, I would have given it very low ratings. So this person singled out episode 10, which we can talk about what happens in episode 10. And I will say what my reaction to episode 10 was. I mean, is it the last 4 episodes that is the real problem? Or would you say just the last episode? Give me a little bone here.
I would say they're kind of eating a little bit. They're eating a little bit. I do think it's a little harsh, but I would say where I was starting to have narrative problems would be towards those last 4 episodes. This is going to be a complicated thing to say, but I feel like you feel a little similar than I do. I feel like there's a lot of shows that could probably cap it before 14. Like there's
So you think 14 episodes is too long for the show?
For shows, yes, sometimes like this one. I'm in a weird bind where it's like I think that they almost rushed some stuff and then they could have let some stuff breathe, and then they should have maybe capped out a little bit more early. I'm undecided on that, but I would say narratively I had more problems towards the later half. Definitely those episodes, I would say. I definitely noticed a shift when the Jeju episodes, like Jeju Island and onwards. But yeah, I think that's kind of fair.
There's another, and I'm not going to read this whole review, but the title of this review is A Good Comedy Trying to Be an Unsuccessful Tearjerker. I don't want to say they're wrong, but it's just like, I'm not sure if this was ever going to be the most successful melodrama.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I agree with you in the sense where you're like, it's self-aware. It really is like poking fun at itself a lot. And I really did think that a lot of what I enjoyed and interpreted as comedic moments, and even like the more serious ones, I felt like all of it was a nod to something. So I feel like there was some intentionality in what was written, but yeah,
it leaves you a little befuddled at the end of the show. I'm not gonna say it wasn't like a swing. It was, and that plagues a lot of time slip dramas.
Yeah,
period. And maybe the range and how you rate these is, you know, how successful was the ending? Did they manage to land the plane? And it's going to range for you.
It's going to range. Unfortunately, the first episode and the last are going to give you that biggest impression, right? You need to, you have to start off well enough that the audience is hooked from the get-go and buy and invest. And you got to end it tight enough that the audience, for the most part, is left with good feeling memories towards it. I'm fortunately in the camp that enjoyed the journey, but I did too. I can attest to what they're saying. I can
totally acknowledge the faults of the show.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this is a perfect show. I think the small level of angst toward the end of the show worked for me. I understood that there was going to be a tonal shift somewhere in the middle of the show or towards the end of the show. It was not going to be all sunshine and rainbows and laughing and fish out of water scenarios and comedic bits throughout the show. Exactly. It just wasn't going to be like that. We always had the question of, who is she? Is she going to go back?
Yes.
Period.
Exactly.
And that's always going to be rife with heartbreak. You know, someone's going to get heartbroken before the end of the show, and they may or may not have a happy ending. This one, not a huge spoiler, this one did have a happy ending. Was it earned? That's up to you to decide.
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hands down, the best part about the show for me was that Nam-jun's character was like boner out for her the whole show. Like, he loved her. He was desperate to, you know, be close to her, and she is not giving him the time of day. She's doing her best to sort of fend off this active seduction from this guy. And you feel for her. You're like, I understand she's got a lot going on. She's not from this era. She's just trying to get through the day, make some money, and live this girl's life, right? And this guy is like on her tail.
Did you say boner out?
Yeah, I did. I did say boner out.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. I'm going to read it back in. Oh, God.
I didn't know that you were still like just laughing the entire time about boner out. But like, that's what he's so whipped. And I love that about the show. I think that's what holds water in the show is their dynamic. And will he finally be with the love of his life? Will she finally realize he's the love of her life?
Yeah. So. I need a walk him like a dog kind of trope, you know? Like, I need the woman to walk him like a dog. I need him to be down bad. The most downest of the bad.
There's this running joke or gag because I live in Florida, I'm Hispanic, and Hispanic women have this stereotype of being very bossy. They are very demanding. And I'm putting it very delicately and very nicely. So to see what feels like a very Hispanic female lead in this show,
So real.
she's taking him down a peg every chance she gets.
Humble him.
But she's got him on a leash. And I just love that about it.
That's the thing.
Feels sort of familiar.
Yeah, I like that she was not afraid to be like, listen here, you scoundrel. Remove your hand from me.
Yes.
Just unhand me.
Right, like the Chosen prudeness. I thought it worked remarkably well for them. And I love his facial expressions, that he's kind of like, he's always like, oh my God, like this girl.
She's so into me. Oh my God.
Like every
She's
time
feeling me so much.
she is constantly making him swoon. She's constantly making him sweat. And that's the magic, I think, of the show. That's what keeps you coming back for the next episode.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily I think the mechanics of the time travel come secondary to them.
Yes. I feel like the heart of the show kind of maintains itself throughout. And even if you have your quibbles here and there, I think the through line of the show was that it was grounded in its humor. It was grounded in their connection, their energy. And the two characters didn't, in my opinion anyway, really shift. Like they had their own character arcs and what have you, but they still kind of remain recognizable at the end. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Where they're still the characters, in my humble opinion, that we started with and what we ended with, just with, you know, a little bit more learned experience and the trials and tribulations. And that's typically how romance beats should work. You know, you have the humor, but you have to ground that humor in something. It can't just be slapstick, bap, 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 bap. Like there has to be something kind of grounds us all that kind of brings it back home to why we're all here, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about this concubine who actually existed. And I'm going to just basically give you the spark notes of this. They took a lot of creative liberties, is the bottom line. But anyway, this is Tang Hee-bin. Personal name is Tang Ok-jong, which is not exactly the name that we're given in the show. She was a consort of King Seokjong, the 19th monarch of Joseon, and she was actually the mother of King Gyeongjong, which is something that they don't cover in the show, that she actually had a child that became king. She was actually named queen from 1689 until her deposition in 1694, so only 5 years of being queen. And she is remembered today as one of the greatest femme fatales in Korean history, so that part is completely true. And she is widely thought to have been one of the most beautiful women in Joseon, and her charm was mentioned in the veritable records of the Joseon dynasty. Can you believe that?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Baddie. Yeah, let's go.
Yes. So there was this whole political upheaval. It's kind of complicated, but long story short, the king banished the queen and promoted our femme fatale concubine to queen. And then he reversed his decision. He brought back the deposed queen and he demoted our femme fatale concubine. And when the queen died in 1701, Queen In-hyun, these names you should recognize, allegedly, King Seokjong discovered Lady Jang conspiring with a shaman priestess to curse the queen with black magic and gloating over her death. And there were political factions that were pleading with the king to show mercy and pointed out that, like, you should not punish her. She's the mother of the crown prince. Unmoved, the king sentenced Lady Jang, her mother, her brother, the leader of Soran, which is that faction, and all of her companions to death. 1,700 people died as a result of this incident. So on October 7th, 1701, Seokjong passed a decree prohibiting any concubine from ever becoming queen. She ruined it for everybody else. And then on October 10th, Lady Jang was executed by poisoning. And she was only 42 years old. So that is the true, very condensed story of this figure in history. Pretty sad.
Wow. Yeah.
All right. With that being said, I think we're ready for spoilers. Before we do, what would you rate this show out of 5 Soju bottles?
I think I would give it, it's a cross between 3.5 to 4.
Girl, I'm there. We're simpatico on this for sure. So 3.5 or 4.
maybe you know what? I'm going to give it 4. I'll give it 4. I'm going to be definitive. Let's not do the wishy-washy. 4. 4 soju bottles.
4 soju bottles for you. I will also give it 4 soju bottles because, hey, I had a good time. It was very entertaining. It was very easy to press play on the next episode. I'm not going to take that away from the show. And, you know, they're so pretty also.
Amen.
Like, aren't they so pretty?
Like, can we stress this enough? Dear, okay, no spoilers, but that man is fit though.
That like, man is... No, they gave, it was, what, 2 or 3? It was a gratuitous number of shower scenes. There was one point he was in a bathtub. He was taking a bath, and I was like, oh, we've leveled up because now he's in a full-on bath.
Yeah.
You know, they were feeding us.
They were feeding us very well. The female gaze. Like, listen here. Give the audience what they want.
Exactly. All right. So, 4 soju bottles. We're going to spoil what happens in My Royal Nemesis right after this.
Excuse me, 뭐라고?
괜찮아.
You know, I have no tingle. Oh, sorry.
Swear. Disgusting shit.
What?
All right, we're on the other side of spoilers. We're going to spoil what happens in My Royal Nemesis. We're going to answer all the questions that you have about My Royal Nemesis because I'm sure people are wondering what the hell happened in the end of the show. Maybe there's some confusion. The confusion starts at episode 10 because a white truck of doom just comes barreling through the middle of the show and I think just surprised the shit out of everybody.
Oh my God. Can I say that was a brilliant way to use a time-honored trope? I honestly was not, like, I should not eat at certain points with the show because I was quite literally gagged. I was like, the sound effects, the bang. I was like, oh my God. Like, I was actually quite literally gagged. I was like, good Lord. And I was having like a really lovely, like, burrito bowl. I don't know what happened to that bowl afterwards. Like, it was a mess. It was embarrassing. I kind of wish I did like a filmed reaction to that. Maybe that could have got some views, but I literally have never jump scared to a white van like that. That one really took me out. I was like, y'all really are crazy.
It was giving Vincenzo. I don't know if you've seen Vincenzo, but I think in episode 3 or 4, a very similar thing happens where there's the 2 characters sitting in a restaurant or a storefront, and a white truck of doom just comes in and runs them over. And that's what happens here. It was crazy. They teased it a little bit because the white truck comes down the street and almost hits the male lead, and he's like, oh, how can someone be driving so crazy? And you think that's the end of it. And it just continues. Oh my God. I have in my notes in all caps, oh fuck. Because that was my raw reaction, was just like, oh my God.
So you can just imagine me eating, right? Like, I'm like, okay, here it comes. Here's, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
I was completely gagged. Really great way to turn about that trope in a way, just to get that maximum impact of surprise and jump scare. Like, that was one hell of a way.
I was shocked, right? Don't get me wrong. I was absolutely shocked. I didn't see it coming. But I think I had stopped the episode. That episode ends and I'm reeling, and I went downstairs to eat something and I was washing the dishes after. And I thought to myself, that was actually really good because the way that they edited it, with the initial jump scare of the white truck almost hitting the male lead, and then it hits them later. It hits the female lead and the grandpa. It's interspersed, it's cut in with the villain of the story picking up his son at the airport, which we knew at that point that he was getting exiled, sent to work in the United States branch. And so the son in Korea was a dead giveaway that he was like, fuck that. I am going to war against the grandpa chairman and the cousin, uncle, whoever the male lead was. It was a weird family tree.
Very much so.
Anyway, he was the one at fault, right? It was his plan and it was a hit. Yeah. Like, simple as that. So I thought it was pretty brilliant. I'm not sure if that, let me see. I think it might have been the last episode from that week because it's an even episode.
Yes.
So I don't know how people waited for the next week's episodes to come out with that cliffhanger.
It was really gaggy. I will say even the sound design, like everything about it was just, I was like, that bastard. He really went.
It was a little bit, I don't know if you've seen The Godfather, but you know that point where they're doing the baptism and they're asking the Godfather, Michael Corleone, do you renounce Satan and all his works? And that's when all hell breaks loose, and it's edited, interspersed with all of these other scenes that his mafia is doing a hit, right, on all of these other bad actors at the same time as he's declaring, yes, I renounce Satan and whatever else. And he's at this wonderful little baptism, and you're like, oh my God, he's the devil. That's what this felt like to me.
Yes.
Felt like a little bit of a callback to some great cinema. And how this guy really is evil. He's awful.
Yeah. And I think I kind of wish in a way they really leaned more into his relationship with his son. I feel like I feel like they didn't really sell me, especially towards the end with everything that happens. And we kind of have wrapped everything up in a bow. And the son is with the grandpa. And it's like, it's the hero's edit with everybody else. And we got this, shady character that has earned his comeuppance. And I was like, I actually really like the fact that as...
Did he though?
Well, but I was like, they had this kind of one note ending to it. And I was like, I actually like the dichotomy of having someone that's really cutthroat and scrupulous. Like they were trying with this Succession storyline to really show that he plays that veneer of having that nice guy persona, but you can see behind the eyes that there's something off and off-putting about him. And as the layers continue to get pulled away, you're like, oh wow, you really ain't shit, man. You know what I mean? Like there is something that I liked in that, but also having that vulnerability with his son, genuinely loving the son, not using the son as like a chess piece and anything. Like, first of all, he's really young, but I liked the show having that relationship. So I wish the show kind of delved into that a little bit more. And I almost kind of thought, even though the kid is really young, may not have the knowledge or the toolkit to truly understand what was happening. I almost felt like there should have been like some after effect with showing the son having been affected by these events, like to show that his father was taken away. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure if I'm articulating myself.
No, I see where you're heading, and I think it has to do with how quickly and comically simple the wrap up was for this character Chae-mundo, who, like we said, he's the villain of the show. He's the villain in the past and the present, and he doesn't get a comeuppance in the past. This king is seen as a good king at the end of the day, and so you're wanting almost like 2 lifetimes worth of punishment to come down on this guy because he's in every life awful. And it's not really that bad. It's kind of tame. They wrap it up too simply, too quickly. And I wanted like a cornered animal scenario. Like I wanted him to feel desperation. I wanted him to feel like the world is closing in around him, and that never happens in the show. And then when you talk about his son, I almost wanted, have you seen The Prestige, that Chris Nolan movie about the competing magicians?
Damn, the one Chris Nolan I haven't actually watched, but
100% you have to watch The Prestige. It's amazing. That's like one of my favorite movies from Chris Nolan. And the end of that movie, there is a child. So you have rival characters, and one is in prison, and the one in prison has a child. So when the rival shows up at the end of the movie, he's now the steward. What's the word? Like the foster father adopted the child.
Okay.
And so there's this, I'm trying not to spoil the movie either for you because that movie needs to be watched raw.
Okay.
But the way that I'm looking at it is my child is now in the hands of my greatest enemy. And they never go that route in the show when we know that he loves his child and he wanted to be reunited with the kid. So I thought that when Ji-yeon's character, the female lead, goes to see him in prison, there would be some sort of, don't worry, we'll take care of your child for you, with like a snicker.
Yes.
Or some sort of thing that she said that would make him alarmed, because now I'm not only separated from my child, but my kid is going to be raised by my greatest enemy, people that I hate.
Yes.
And there wasn't that either.
There's such a missed opportunity with that. Even like with the final like showdown press conference and the interruption in that.
That was dumb. That was dumb.
It's
shit.
just
like
it's like all the emotional weight of that was just kind of deflated. And I was like, really, folks?
mm-hmm.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Like
the
just
fact that, were you bothered by the AI deepfake?
Yeah, I was like,
I was.
So this is the undoing. All these political machinations, all this buildup. We got to 14 episodes. 14 episodes of this buildup. He's in his evil baddie bag. He's like, I got this. You guys are cornered. You're done. I'm winning this. And to have it unravel in such a anticlimactic way with this weak ass, corny ass, unmoving ass deepfake. I was like, that's it? I was like, really?
Yeah, he was like, oh, let me send this AI deepfake of him dumping a body to the press. And I was like, that is the avenue that's going to take him down in the moment. Then the police come in later and they're like, oh, your subordinate had this cache of evidence and there's like no way. Every person who's ever had to deal with you is coming out of the woodwork to be a character witness and to talk shit about you to the police. This is like a open shut case. And I didn't like that because we had established that Chasege, the male lead, was, since they were children, he has been on his guard because he knows this guy Chaemundo is two-faced and he's out to get me. He wants what I have. He wants the inheritance that I'm set to get, the company. He wants the conglomerate. He wants control. All these things. And so I thought Chasege had been building a case against Chaemundo. And then it didn't seem like that was the case at all when he came to the end of the show and he's over here using AI deepfake. I'm like, you don't have, there's nothing else that you have.
No dossier, no nothing.
There's no, where's the dossier? Exactly.
Like, you just hit up Claude and said, let's go. Let's rip this up and put a little Premiere Pro effects and we'll call it a day.
What? I was like, babe, where's the rest?
Where is the rest? And that's what irritates me because it undermines his intelligence in a way. Like, I feel like they've presented this character as not only very shrewd and untrusting of people, rightfully so, because he's been given enough evidence throughout his life that this man will turn on a dime. He's really good at playing the part.
He's out to get me.
He's out to get me.
He's bugging my psychiatrist's office. He's multiple times put out a hit on me. There's been multiple homicide attempts on me, on the people I love. So like, where is all of that?
Heavy on the multiple. The level of distress, the level of medical emergencies. A lot of this was a hospital drama. Like no shade.
Yeah. Yes. You get a coma, and you get a coma, and you get a coma.
But there's a lot of that just felt really unsatisfying to me. And to be honest, I'm sounding like I'm doing like a swerve or curveball here, but not really. Considering that this grandfather was out here slapping children, like full palm in the man's face, blah, 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 as a child.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
that was disturbing.
I was like...
That was awful.
And to see that cousin cackling in the back, like just seeing the devilish delight in the assault that occurred and him not really getting his just from that. And then we're all supposed to buy into this like hero edit of the grandfather, which I also had an issue with because I'm not really buying the soft violins in the background. Oh, we're all just a happy family. Like, no, you really ain't anything. I'm not buying what you're selling. Listen, that grandfather was shit.
I thought that the grandfather, so he recovers from the White Truck of Doom crash. He was in a coma for a minute. Like we said, coma for you, coma for you, coma for you. He recovers and he's missing the last 2 weeks of memories. And I was like, okay, this is very convenient. He must be lying. He must be in on it with Chasege. Yes. And they're planning Chaemundo's downfall because you have to deceive him and make him think that he's got the upper hand. And unfortunately, that was not the case. The grandfather really was missing the last 2 weeks of memories and did not trust Chasege. Even though he was distrustful of Taemundo, it wasn't enough, to my eyes, at all. It didn't help the old man's case, especially when you saw the flashback and you know that we don't know exactly what happened, but there was some bad blood, bad beef between the old man and Chasege's mother.
Yes.
Like,
another missed opportunity as well. Thank you for reminding me, because I wish the mother was highlighted a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that needed some fleshing out as well. The old man, I just saw there was so much opportunity there to bring him into the fold of the ending and the punishment, the consequences that the villain deserved. And he wasn't there. He was totally absent. They kind of didn't utilize him in a satisfactory manner. And they make him into a wonderful, perfect grandfather because now the family has the child, Chaemondo's child, to care for. And he's very sweet and kind and wonderful to this grandkid. And I understand that this happens all the time. This happened to my mother, where her father was a shit dad. So this is my grandfather. He was a shit dad, but got his shit together and became a wonderful grandfather. And so I understand that dynamic, but I don't think they redeemed the grandfather enough for the audience to be okay with no consequences for the grandfather, who had horrible discernment.
Yeah.
The whole show.
I feel like, is it tabula rasa? What's that term? Tabula rasa, like you wipe the slate clean. But overall, it just doesn't feel earned. It doesn't feel earned. Yeah. And I feel like with the flashbacks that we were given, it just kind of cheapens it a little bit. Like I'm not the biggest fan of amnesia subplots. I understand this show is tropey, and I understand it's kind of leading into that. And we're dealing with a romance at the end of the day, so there's only so much deep stuff they're really going to unearth. But to me, they had so many different plot tendrils kind of like hanging that I was like, this would have been really interesting if you could have pulled that string a little bit more and pulled that string a little bit more. I just felt like it was really unearned for him. I was like, right. Oh, okay, well,
it almost feels like you mentioned pulling strings. It reminds me of maybe a piñata where, you know, you pull a couple strings and only a few bits of candy fall out. Like, we got candy, but it wasn't like the deluge that I wanted out of the piñata because they didn't pull all the strings, go full send on it.
Yeah, there's too many full goodies in there. There's too many good pieces that you just couldn't tap at enough to get that gold rush, which is unfortunate. Even as much as I enjoyed the show, like there's a lot of potential there as well that unfortunately was unrealized.
Yes. Did we want to talk about the whole she goes back in time, then she comes back to the present, and then in the final episode she has to break the fate that says he's gonna die in every lifetime before she does, and so she goes back.
And then she comes back and actually kind of doesn't, and everything really wasn't of consequence, and it just kind of wrapped up. Could you break it down for me? Because like I'm being real with you, like I actually did not understand what.
Yeah. Okay. So what happened was let me wrap my head around it. Basically, when she was a child. When Shinsori was a child, she was a child actress, very successful, was going to be the next, name a child actor, whatever.
Susie McHugh, sure. Sorry. Let me just be quiet. Anyway.
Okay. She's the next Jodie Foster, all right? And she does this K-drama. It's very successful. Her parents are, what's the term when it's like they're stage parents? What's it called?
Yeah, that's it.
So they're stage parents, and they rely on her income as an actress. And unfortunately, they bet it all on a bad business deal, and they go bankrupt. The family is fallen on hard times financially. And their solution is to commit family suicide. That's why there's this flashback scene of the mom going, take this medicine and you'll wake up when we get there. And it's very cruel because they've decided to not only kill themselves, but kill their child to escape the consequences of financial ruin. Don't do that. Number one, if you're
Yeah.
listening and you're in some sort of financial ruin, suicide is not the answer. Don't do that. Second of all, she wakes up in the middle of their car. Not only did they drug themselves,
Good God.
then they sent the car into some sort of reservoir and the car was sinking. And that's when Shin-sori wakes up. And so she has this near-death experience and mystically, magically, cosmically is connected to her past life, who was also in the midst of having a near-death experience and was drowning in the past. Their consciousness, their souls switched places.
Okay.
So the Shin-sori, who grew up 12 years and was a successful child actor and is now an orphan, ends up in Joseon-era and has to assume this other identity and live this life that's very unfamiliar for her and is quite scary. She gets sold as a slave and all this stuff. She ends up in the palace and we know the rest.
Yes.
She becomes this concubine. She has this experience with a Phantom of the Opera, Grand Prince, falls in love with him. It's a whole shit show that runs its course, and she is forced to commit suicide by this awful king. Upon this near-death experience and upon this cosmic phenomena that's happening, it was a comet that only happens every few hundred years.
Yes.
And a solar eclipse. So this double whammy situation happens, and she switches back. Like, she basically switches back to her original timeline and is now fish out of water, has no recollection of the 12 years that she had in the present day, in modern day Seoul. And the other girl, Kang Dan-shim, she is sent back to this other body that is recovering from being poisoned. Does that make sense so far?
That actually does give it so much more clarity, because that's kind of
Okay.
But I was kind of like, but that is really a great way to just kind of break it down.
Okay, so that is the broad stroke what happens in the show. When she has another near-death experience later in the show, it's the episode 10, White Truck of Doom. She gets run over, and this near-death experience also sends her back in time. Still during the time of this comet that's in the sky and whatever. The star of the temptress or whatever they called it. I don't know.
The red comet thingy.
Yes. Oh, I neglected to say that on top of the comet and the solar eclipse, there's this shaman who did a necromancy shamanistic ritual to basically help her survive this suicide that was coming for her. The shaman is on the other end and is helping her recover, her body recover from the king's mandate for her to commit suicide. The poisoning. This is so convoluted.
The fact that
I feel like I have it.
You have it.
So she ends up back in her Chosun body, in Dan-shim's body, and she's paralyzed for God knows why, but she's paralyzed, can't
Reasons.
speak. Reasons, whatever.
Hot bunny.
The shaman tells her when the red comet returns to its place and your blood and chi are restored, it will guide your soul here into your body. So cut them off, both the good and bad ties, all the old, outdated threads. So she's talking in a weird little riddle saying, look, you're on borrowed time. You're going to go back to where you belong when this comet is done. She's telling her to cut threads and forget good and bad ties for some reason. We assume that this is to help her, right? We don't think that the shaman is doing this maliciously, but whatever. And at that point in the show, you don't know for sure that her soul belongs in the present day. You think her soul belongs in the Joseon era. So you're like, oh my God, she's on borrowed time. Mm-hmm. And she thinks so too. She thinks she has 2 weeks left when she returns to the present day after she wakes up from that coma. Like, she cuts her arm and everything. There's like a ritual that's happening. She's sending her back and forth.
Bloodletting,
Yeah. Anyway, so she wakes up in present day, thinks she has 2 weeks left. Her personality is different. She's depressed. She's thinking about how she's going to say goodbye to this man who's totally in love with her, infatuated with her. And she figures out, because she keeps now getting glimpses of this life that she's never lived. These aren't memories that belong to the body. These are memories that belong to her soul. These are her memories of her childhood growing up here in present day Seoul. So that's when she realizes that nothing's bad is going to happen to her at the end of this 2 weeks. The comet's going to go and she's going to stay here in present day Seoul. Now we get to that our homeboy Jasuke gets stabbed twice and is about to die. He is bleeding out. He's in surgery, and the shaman from Tosen has been tapping into her present day reincarnation and has fully possessed this version of her in the present day. And she's like, hey, I have good news and I have bad news. The bad news is he's going to die. The good news is you can save him. You have to sacrifice yourself, because if you go back in time and you save him in the past, you're going to break this thread of fate, this doom that's upon him, because he's always going to die. Every version of him is going to die before you. I feel like I'm sweating trying to.
No, because I'm like, I'm sweating for you. I'm like, okay, she's in her bag. This is great.
Okay. Okay. So then we don't see if there's another ritual. She chooses obviously to save his ass, and she goes back to her Chosun body, switches again with Tanjim. We have not really met Tanjim, this other life of hers, as yet. Does that make sense? Like, we've only seen the version of her now. We don't see the other personality, the other soul. So she ends up back in the Chosun time. She's somehow in a different timeline where things are the same but a little different. There's that evil extra that's now a palace maid colleague she was like, I never knew her before, but I know her now. That's weird. She's a royal bedchamber maid for the Queen Dowager, which is also totally different than how it was before. She's not a concubine. She's not dead.
Yes.
So lots of changes, but good news, the Grand Prince is still alive and exiled.
Huzzah!
So, huzzah! There's a chance. Anyway, I'm following the show, but I'm like, what the hell is this? Anyway, she saves his ass again, and he promises to live. Like, she's like, you have to live or else he will die. And he's like, he? So there's another guy. So he's kind of like, well, damn, I understand your desperation, and sure, I'll live for him. She takes an arrow for him to the back, and they both fall off a cliff to the sea below. It's quite ambiguous whether he lived and whether she lived. We know he lives, though, because now they cut to the male lead in the present day. Chasuke is alive. He wakes up.
Mm-hmm. Comas
and surgeries that he's, I'm sure, had, and he's looking for her. She's nowhere to be found. She's not at home. No one's seen her. She can't stop picking up the phone. She is in a mysterious coma. And this is where I'm like, this is very goblin-y, because she is apparently in some sort of liminal space. And the shaman is there, and she says that her punishment is over, and being in this state where she doesn't know what's going on, she doesn't know if she's alive, she doesn't know if he's alive, whatever. In this state of numb peace, this is a reward for all of her suffering. You could ask me 5 different ways why. What is this space? I don't know. That's just what it is. She's in limbo. A prison of her own mind, of her own consciousness. Whatever you want to say. She's in a coma. Her body is in a coma. There is a big moment where this is, edited together, but he sees the painting his past life did of her, and he sort of remembers, or he has glimpses of what happened and how she saved him, and so he is overcome with emotion, begs for her to come back. And meanwhile, her in this liminal space has the token, or, the river rock, which is at the beach, that she picked up. It's a souvenir of their love. She always meant it to help her recall the good memories and remember them.
Yes.
She comes back to herself. She says, this is not a reward. Without suffering, there's no happiness. And without experiencing sorrow, we cannot know joy. This is not the kind of reward I expected. And she's given the choice. The shaman shows up again, and she's like, okay, well, great news. You have the choice to go back to the past, back to the present, or even to the future. even to a timeline where the temptress is not stigmatized and we know where she goes. She goes right the hell back to him. It is snowing in the middle of summer, which is a callback to the poem that he wrote. The Grand Prince wrote some poem that was like snowing in summer, whatever. I forgot to write down the poem, but it's there. You can go back and watch
beautiful
it.
Beautiful poem.
They have this reunion. She is now on 2 feet. She's emerged from this coma. We don't see how she got from whatever hospital bed she was in to the museum where he was. But whatever, I'm willing to forgive that. And they have this grand reunion, and then into all of the stuff that we were discussing before, the endgame antics that are very unsatisfactory. Does that provide any sort of clarity for
Good
what
Lord,
happened
woman.
to her?
The way you deserve a award right now for being able to break that down. I know in this heat right now, you were really just going through
I was telling you, it's so hot outside in Florida.
Good
I was
Lord.
sweating. Okay, for those wondering what the hell was going on, you can still wonder a lot about what was going on. It's not clear. It is... A lot of these fantasy K-dramas do similar things. I honestly was not surprised, but yeah.
They really bit off a lot.
They did.
But they were very ambitious.
Yeah.
They're very ambitious.
Very ambitious. Yeah.
But the overall connecting point of the destiny swaps and the final coming together, very sweet.
I did enjoy that they finally showed us the real Kang Dan-shim, who, 12 years was a child in the Joseon-era, got catapulted to the present day, was trying to hack it as an actress, had no talent whatsoever, was like doing her best to just live. She was poor, she had nothing, and finally made it back to the Joseon-era and seemed to be thriving back in that era, and was traveling alongside the Grand Prince, who says cleverly, yeah, you've lost your memories. There's a hard reset there that he is taking very well, but she seems okay back to where she wanted to be. So we did get to see the real Kang Dan-shim. That's all I can say. I would love to hear people's interpretations of the ending, as far as like, why did the timeline change when she went back to save the Grand Prince? She could have ended up anywhere before, but they chose a time where she wasn't dead and she wasn't already sort of trapped in the palace as a concubine. Things had to change. Why they changed, no explanation whatsoever. What this liminal space was, also an enigma, but
they really tried. They really tried. I will say, though, my favorite piece, and I'm butchering it because you just literally just said the quote, but the piece about you really can't experience true joy without the suffering, that to me is like a universal theme in pretty much any hero's journey and hero song. Like, to be able to truly bask in love, truly bask in celebrating one another's joy, truly being able to digest these things, you have to have some level of suffering. Maybe people feel conflicted on that, but I do think for us to enjoy this experience that is the stage called life, there has to be some level of cosmic balance. There can't just be too much of one or the other. There has to be intersecting points. I'm trying to sound deep here. It's not working, but but I do like that.
I'm following you. Yeah.
But I like that coming together and that being the true line.
Yes. I also liked their reunion. Call me a sap, I don't care. I really liked the line that he said. He said, I died each day waiting for you.
Oh, God.
He said, I thought you would never come back to me, that I wouldn't get a chance to confess my feelings. You left before I even had a chance to tell you that I love you.
Gut-wrenching. And I fell for it. I fell for a hook, line, and sinker because I want that yearning. Mm-hmm. I want to know that it really meant something to you. Like, I want all those poetic, deep-rooted, just give it to me.
Yeah. And I believe him.
And I believe him.
I believe him. Totally.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's get to some lighter parts of the show. Some stuff that resonated with us. Maybe some swoony moments, if you have any.
I have to say, it's maybe episode 5, episode 6. It's when they're doing the ad campaign. and she's
Yeah.
coming out in these different outfits. I think he did a really good job of like selling she's a knockout, but he has to try to play it off like he's not completely fallen yet. He's like, yeah, that's too couture. No. It's too shimmery. No. No, go that back.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's kind of like wanting to wind up on him. She's like, what's your problem? Like, I'm serving you looks here. Like, get it together. And then there's that one point where I think they're trying to talk him down. Is like, what's your problem? Like all the assistants around him, his assistant, they're like, my guy, can you like rein it in? Like you got to pick one or something like that. And he says something along the lines, everything, I just can't see anything but her. There's just that way he delivers it. And I was
She's
like,
overshadowing the clothes.
She's overshadowing the clothes. She's overshadowing the shoot. Like he's just so deep in it. And he still hasn't come to that realization yet. And I kind of love when the male lead just hasn't realized how deeply he's sunk yet, but you can see it all through the facial expressions and what have you. It was really sweet, but also it kind of ties into like the comedic moments. And I just thought it was a good meld of the two. And I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I love all of those Jeju Island moments where she's drunk that night and he takes her to the beach to sober her up because she's expressed that she loves the beach. This is her first time at the beach. She's never seen the ocean before. And he loves to experience her joy and her awe at new experiences. So that was all great. The whole Mont Saint-Michel stuff, which is hysterical, but they end up, on this island that only appears when the tide is out or when the tide is low. So they made their way over there and then they get stranded over there in the morning. But that night they kiss. I lost it when he kissed her inner wrist.
Which is like a top tier. Like there's the neck and then there's, and I was like, oh, he did his big one with this.
God.
Oh, he ain't. Oh, I was like,
yes.
I
thought the inner wrist kiss was better than the actual kiss, but great. They kissed that night. Because she's constantly trying to like fend him off. Right? Oh my God. It's great. I was just enjoying so much of the show. There's a lot of references to other K-dramas in the first few episodes. I wrote down some of them. One is in episode 1, the roadside shaman who's in a freaking tent on the side of the road. She starts talking about, hey, it seems like your experience is channeling some other time travel K-dramas. She mentions Love of 1,000 Years from 2003.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. She mentions Rooftop Prince, which I mentioned earlier. She mentions Queen In-hyun's Man, which has an entire episode on the feed. And in episode 3, he turns on the radio to try and distract himself because he's fully whipped. Like he loves her almost immediately in the show. And he starts listening to the Business Proposal OST. He starts listening to Love Maybe by Mellowmance. She's binging classic older K-dramas to kind of get in touch with this reality, with this present day, almost like homework, because she's like, okay, well, if I'm going to get acting gigs, then I have to like see what's already out there. That's what her manager or the owner of the agency tells her. She's like, okay, well, like read up on this, read the script, make sure you know what's happened before in the show. And she's like, okay. She binges Sand Glass from 1995, Rustic Period from 2003. There's references to My Lovely Kim Sam-soon. There's references to Boys Over Flowers. I mean, the list goes
crazy.
on. Yeah.
the lore goes crazy, which is why I appreciate that this creator was really intentional in a lot. And I really do love when they do that wink wink with the audience as well. I just thought it pulled from really top tier references, I thought. And I liked how it was woven in, but those ones, all of those are like staples, classics.
For sure. There's a couple of outfits that I absolutely loved and I want to get them. I want to buy them. If anybody knows the links to these, like send them to my way. There's a red outfit in episode 3 that she goes to sign her entertainment contract, the modeling contract in.
Yeah.
Loved the red outfit. And then in episode 4, there's an all blue outfit that she wears. And this is the outfit that she has, I think, there's a meal that she shares with the grandpa before she knows it's the chaebol grandpa.
Yeah.
That outfit, loved it down. Like, I thought it was so cute. It almost like it had a little peasant collar. I just loved everything about it.
It was good. Like, they did a really great job of integrating her personal style and like acclimating with the times as well. But she had an amazing lookbook. I'm not like, I have to revisit a lot of those again because you're just jogging my memory now. I'm like, oh yeah, she was kind of eaten down a little bit with this.
She was like low key. And it was so, I don't want to say innocent, but there was a sort of cuteness and childish feel to a lot of the outfits. It almost looked like a cross between a child's outfit and a grandmother's outfit because she's still used to dressing all the way up to here with the hanboks in the era that she was living in. So it's still chaste and tasteful, not a lot of skin.
Yes, that's fine. I don't want to do a hard pivot too, but I actually really liked Halmoni. I really liked the grandma.
So let's talk about the Halmoni because I thought this was another standout of the show, was this relationship that she shares with the Halmoni. She doesn't realize it's her real grandmother until later in the show, but this relationship was really sweet. I'm not gonna, deduct too many points for the unbelievably rapid decline of the Halmoni, her having Alzheimer's and dying of nothing really, because it didn't seem like enough time had passed for her to like get pneumonia or stop eating and starve to death. You know what I'm saying? There's really varied reasons why people with memory issues pass away.
Yeah.
And it's not because they necessarily have dementia or Alzheimer's diagnosis. It's other extenuating things. So that was weird, but I love their relationship. She was always giving her nuggets of wisdom and was hoping for the best for her, praying for her well-being and telling her to live her life, to be joyful, find the joy in life. And it was just a precious relationship.
She was really effective. The actress that plays the grandmother, like her name is blanking on me right now, but she's always, thank you.
Yeah, iconic.
She's been in so many things, but she is so tried and true. And the show was really painful with it because with the rapid decline of the dementia and her cognition, and I was like, why would you guys do this in the 11th hour of the show? I was hoping that they were almost faking us out because I was like, this show really subverts a lot of tropes in a way, kind of. And I was like, maybe they're going to throw us another curveball that we're not realizing. And then as it was happening, I was like, they're really going to go through with it. They're really going
to kill this little
lady. And this cute old lady. And they just kept
all senior citizens should get life alert because the way that these K-dramas introduce these precious harmonies and harabojis, and they are at death's door before you know it. They are on borrowed time. There is something fatal gonna happen to them.
Like we need to have a come to Jesus moment. Like we need to rein everybody in. Like going into 2027, can we just collectively come together and just leave the harmonies go? Let's let them live. It's okay. We can let one of them live. It's just the rapid decline. I was like, really, guys? No. Yeah. I actually did tear up. I was like, come on, man. And I credit to the actresses as well and for selling it, but I
thought they had a real connection. In-hyun and Kim Hae-suk, female lead, and the grandma Halmoni, they were so great together. I almost sat up straighter when they were on screen because their relationship felt so emotional and so palpable and compelling.
Yes.
I loved them. Every chance that they were on screen, I was like eating it up.
One of my favorite relationships outside of the main couple. They really were probably the like heart and soul of the story for me. Like that genuinely was one of the best through lines for me. Like I really enjoyed the time that we had, which is why maybe that's why they thought that would be the best dramatic impact to really sucker punch the audience in that time left. But I don't know if I feel like we could have still got here with the emotional gravitas of everything without having to have quite figuratively and literally pull the plug on her. Like
I agree. I think she could have still been struggling with dementia or Alzheimer's and been in this assisted living facility, but maybe she's, she still has her in her life. She's still alive.
Yeah.
And still waiting for those moments of her being lucid, of her coming back to herself and appreciating that she's back in her life. Because, you know, this poor lady, this poor Harmony was raising some Chosen child that wasn't her own relative, you know, the soul or whatever was a past life of hers. And I'm sure that took its toll on her, you know, over
she's
the
getting
years.
Threatened by these like thugs as well.
Oh
like,
my god.
Trying to beat up this old woman. I'm like, all 10 of y'all? The 10 of y'all need to come in like, to break up the woman's...
But one thing that was special about their relationship was how much the Harmony was trying to convince her that she was worthy of joy and worthy of love.
Yes.
And that was, I think, very powerful in their relationship. The don't do life alone thing that she was trying to instill in her too, because this character, this female lead, is incredibly self-sufficient, very independent, very suspicious of other people, always on her guard, very distrustful of people, and for good reason, because she was like targeted throughout her whole life when she was in the Joseon-era. So it's not without good reason. But what's nice is that she has to basically, in the course of being loved by this grandmother that she doesn't realize is her real grandmother, she realizes that life isn't worth living unless you have a tribe, you have community, you know, these people, community, are open to life and love and joy, and allow yourself to be vulnerable and experience the highs and lows of life instead of just trying to fend off the lows. So I thought that was a great moment for them. And in the similar fashion, the male lead has his own journey to that same realization. Just instead of having a Harmony, he has her, he has the female lead, because he's also in the very similar fashion fending off attempts on his life. He's fending off incursions on his legitimacy as a chaebol heir, and he's very distrustful of people. He's a horrible manager, horrible leader, very unlikable, very severe, borderline abusive, and he learns to he basically becomes a different person by the end of the show. Not only learns to love, but he's very soft and understanding of other people, even if he is very temperamental. He still has the temper on him. He's still very jealous of other people, especially around her. But, you know, he is a better version of himself and more open and honest. And he didn't understand the purpose of love. He didn't understand romance at all. And her in his life totally changes him.
Which is what I liked. I like that they're able to bring it true to the end. Yes, they had their character journeys, they had their character arcs, but they still were them. But they at least got to have that growth and got to be better people for one another, and also get to kind of build their future faction and their future storyline. Yeah, I like the overall grounding message of it all, and how these other characters in their role kind of play that part in addition. But the two of them are so influential to one another.
I liked that he was so tenacious, I think, toward her and toward like seducing her, or ordinarily you'd be like, I don't like that he's still here, and she's said no, right? No means no.
No means no. It's a full sentence.
It's a full sentence. And in this case, I'm like, well, good thing that he kind of senses or knows that she is totally into him back. He says she's at one point she's in the coma after the white truck of doom.
The fifth one, yes.
I've lost track. But anyways, he says she's short-tempered, difficult, surly, and direct quote, "Hurt me with your words without a second thought, but it's just too bad. Like, you can't get rid of me. I love you." And I don't know. I like that. Sumi.
They knew each other well. Like, he knew his limits. Like, he did play into that teasy kind of temperament with her, and you know, she would be like, "Oh my god, you scoundrel."
Yes, I never felt like she was sort of in danger at any point, or that he was forcing her too much out of her comfort zone. Like when he's constantly trying to get alone with her, get in her house, her come over to his house. That's fine. Like he's chasing after her, but he's never like forcing her or whatever to stay over or forcing himself inside of her little rooftop unit, so on and so forth. He's quite gentle when it comes down to it.
Yes.
Oh my God, going back to the grandma. So in episode 13, she's in the hospital and she has a moment where she's of clarity. She's back to herself and he's standing next to her and the female lead is kind of down the hallway talking to the doctor or the nurse or something. And the grandmother says, and I'm paraphrasing, "When the storms of life come, an umbrella won't be enough for her. Stand in the rain with her."
Oh, it's true cinema. You know, that whole like that
and
meme?
I was like, Grandma, look at her trying to get vows out of this man. And he, of course, is like, yeah, I want to do life with her and I want to be with her and stand at her side when the hard times come. And it's also a callback to the past life that she shared with him in the Joseon-era with the Grand Prince, where he's like, you know, stand in the rain. Isn't the rain so refreshing? And they have that moment where he's like, it's fine to enjoy the rain and the storms of life.
And just be present. Yeah, just be present.
Yes. So all of that taken together, I like tying up loose ends and coming full circle like that. So it was very sweet.
I thank you for bringing back up that moment between them, because I was like, that's like a really great passing of the torch. Like the show was kind of gearing us up that there is probably going to be some tragic ending. There's going to be some closure to this relationship with the Halmoni, but she at least got to have that moment with him because he's obviously such an important piece in Sori's life. And, you know, it wouldn't have been right for them not to have at least that one moment of clarity where he's like, yes, I'm going to be with her. I'm going to weather these turbulent storms with her. Like, I am it. I'm ready. I am fully in this. Let's go. And it felt earned to me. So I was talking a lot earlier about some moments here and there not feeling earned. That felt earned to me at that point. So I was like, if we're going to go through this, if we're going to go down this level of tragedy, at least we have this bittersweetness that they got to have that final moment of her and her lucidity and just being able to make sure that got through.
So one positive thing and then a couple of negative things that are kind of on the lighter side. So there's another scene that I was very emotional about, and it's in episode 11. They're having soup, I believe. It's a female lead and male lead having soup. He's talking about this soup that they're having was the last meal that he shared with his mother, and that he's gone back to that same restaurant that he had this final meal, this specific dish with his mother, and it doesn't taste the same. He can't get that same taste. What the female lead says is, maybe it's because you had it with her. The night may be very dark, but if you have someone by your side, it becomes bearable, a bit less scary. That's just how it is. Who you're with is more important than where you are when you're with them. And yes, love that.
Mic drop.
Thought it was very cute. And
that is actually really cute.
if I think about it too long, I'll probably start crying because we all have those moments in our lives. And taste is so powerful of a memory.
Yeah.
You know, we all have these dishes or things that we used to eat with certain people. And if you taste this again, you are brought back to that memory, that time and place, that person that you were with. That scene plays on that he misses his mom.
And it's sweet because I love that you can actually, I just like the old adage that you can taste the love within the cooking. Like it doesn't matter if two people get like the same exact recipe, the same amount of ingredients, the same time frame. There is something that is going to be inevitably different because there was love that was cooked with it. Something along that lines. But yes.
The next two things are a little lighter. One, I did not feel very good about the extra that was poisoning the water and vandalized the rooftop apartment with dye in the spray paint. That girl, I was like, no, we could have taken that whole thing out and probably the show would have been better for it. Did you have thoughts?
It had no follow-up too. So she got her door spray painted back and she's like, what the hell? Like, what?
And she was like pulling her hair out, so upset. Oh, she did this. I'm like, girl, what?
It was so, as you said, it wouldn't have affected a single thing. And that was wasted time where we could have actually tugged into those little threads that we said that could have been expanded. I was very confused with her and her inclusion. I feel like when they're trying to interwove like these different antagonists, we had like the second female lead that was like the business associate of Sige.
That was another missed opportunity. How'd you feel about her?
I like that they were kind of doing a red herring with her because she really was coming across like a second big bad. In the end, she turned out to be a little less unscrupulous than an ally in the end. So I thought that was interesting. That could have been delved into more, but she kind of serves that purpose of that antagonist. Yes. And even like the actress that was a rival to Sori on the set, and she kind of has her own offshoot romance. Yes, the frenemy. That kind of offshoots with her neighbor turned manager, what have you. Those characters to me, in their time, they kind of served whatever purpose of a little bit of rising tension to eventually have that through line. So I was taken aback by that. Weird ass extra.
Two things. I agree with you. Ji-yeon is the name of the frenemy actress who strikes up a relationship of a kind with the manager. I was very distracted by her plastic surgery face. I was almost upset by it because she just looked really bad, really plastic. Second of all, the second female lead, who's the table heiress and becomes an ally by the end of the show, they did try and deepen her character, which I appreciate the attempt. It was this conversation that she had with her mother.
Yes.
Where she said, I had this friend in school. We were close and I saw her with dad, right? With my father. And I didn't realize that this was a sanctioned relationship, that you were the one who kind of allowed this to happen, allowed this mistress situation that was extremely uncomfortable and made me think of you and dad and our family differently. And so that's what she had learned. And that's why she initially was like, oh, I was okay with my man having all these side pieces because that's how her family was set up. And it's nice that she sort of comes out of the experience of being rejected time and time again by Tasege and is like, you know what? I want my man to myself. Call me crazy. I don't want to share it with anybody else. I think it's crazy to try and offset a bad marriage with mistresses that you know about, basically concubines. And I thought that she was going to turn out to be the queen in the past life.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that shoe to drop. And it never did. So I was like, oh, am I crazy? Because almost everybody else has a counterpart in the past, in the Joseon-era. And she didn't? Okay, that's fine.
I wonder if that's something in like the back end and post-production that they were actually going to go through. And I don't know if it's like time constraints that they said, you know what, let's not make this very convoluted time travel, past life, destiny swap thing anymore. We can't lose them now. But I actually do think they put enough, is it red herring? They've put enough symbolism, like there's it seemed like
there was enough there to feel like I'm not wrong in thinking there was going to be a reveal at some point that the queen or somebody related to the Grand Prince and the Joseon-era is her. Like that's why she is so enmeshed in their relationship and was so gung-ho about being with Chasege. So I thought that was going to be a thing. It wasn't. The second thing that I wanted to bring up was the product placement in this show because the Kopiko was killing me. Also, the necklace that he got her, that was also in this sort of the yellow box that they lingered on. I was like, oh my God.
These were all choices Like, I know we gotta pay. These are big productions. You don't have two actors that are super, super established in the sense of like a Byung-Suk, if you will,
I see what
from
you're saying.
Perfect Crown. Like, so I understand you have to have the product placement. I know we all have the egg drop, that sandwich type
Yes.
product placement in a lot of shows, that damn coffee candy, and I feel so refreshed. You know, I was
sick.
running on a
I was
14-hour day,
sick.
but this one piece of candy just perked me right up. Woo! That felt refreshing. It's like, guys.
I was like, guys,
guys.
you're just burning my brain cells. Enough.
And I know it tastes
man.
like tar. It has to taste like tar. I
It
know
has
it
to
ain't.
taste horrible.
It's not.
People
it's not
who
good.
have had Kopiko, please circle back and tell us, is it everything they've said and promised that it is, or is it not?
Yeah, let's hit this hard journalism. Like, let's
Yeah.
get this
Boots on the
expose.
ground.
Boots on the ground.
Who's
journalism,
out here
man.
having Kopiko every day? Please. I think I've come to the end of my notes. There weren't that many.
Yeah, I think we covered it.
Okay.
I think overall I had a good time. Thank you for helping me out this year, because it was a struggle bus. It was a struggle bus with a lot of these K-dramas. So I am
Okay.
very thankful to the Royal Nemesis for being that steady rock. Just like that rock and talisman.
The steady
that's
river rock that
yes.
you found in the sea.
Yes.
Yeah. Mo, thank you so much for coming on this Royal Nemesis journey with me and for being so gracious with your time. Where can we find you online?
You can definitely find me on Instagram under the same name, Off by Purple Heart Podcast. I simultaneously do hit a lot of YouTube posts as well. So I do simultaneously have my podcast on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts. As I said, it's been a little rough this year, but I am doing my best to be consistent, and it's just a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Mm.
It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're listening and you're a fan of either of us, you need to stop everything and let us know right now, because that's the only way that you will get consistent posts or posts at all, is if we know that there's people out there listening and actually enjoying. Because it is very thankless to do this as a hobby.
And
Yeah.
you're talking and you're sweating and you're getting into it, and it's like, am I
Spending
shouting
all
to
this
avoid?
time. Oh my God.
But you love it for the game.
And you're solo podcasting too, which is, I equate it to just talking to a wall. Really.
Yeah,
That's what the experience feels like.
for sure. It's another way I kind of unveil my psychosis a bit, I guess, and how seriously I take this stuff.
Follow Mo and listen to Mo on all of the platforms. But thank you again. And that's it. That's been our show. I'm Jessica. And this has been the Daebak K-Rambles Podcast.